So in this video here, we've got 3 simple tips to help you hit a draw with some very cheap options here. So you don't have to spend loads of money on training aids. We've got a simple driver head cover, an empty ball box, and a plastic ruler. Let's try and get you hitting some draws. So just before we jump into the video, if you're enjoying the content I'm putting out there, then please consider hitting that subscribe button, logo in the bottom right hand screen, MNG, hit that, hit the bell icon, get notifications of any future videos. As soon as I land on my channel, you'll be one of the very first ones to watch it. Follow me on social media links, which are all in the description down below, and let's stay in contact. Let's improve your game. Okay, so the first tip we're going to go through here is with driver, and this is going to help you to try and hit that draw shape and ultimately get that better connection on that golf ball, get that ball flying nice and sort of high with a low spin characteristics, which helps with our distance. And we're going to use an empty ball box here. Very simple little drill, obviously just an empty box here. So what we're going to do first is just tee the ball up, and then going to position this box roughly about sort of 12 inches or so past your golf ball. Okay, so target side of the ball, as you can see from there. And then obviously the idea here is to obviously strike that golf ball, and the club should be travelling on the way up, and if it would do this correctly, then the club is going to pass over the top of the box, and obviously you're not going to hit the box, and hopefully the ball's going to go out nice and long and help to create that draw shape. So for the guys who maybe hit that left or right, or if you're suffering with a fade or an exaggerated sort of slice there, tends to be more from this high position and down and go low. So obviously if we were to do that with that box there, you'd strike the box and the ball would then probably try and squeeze off out to the right of target. Okay, so I'm going to give this one a hit here. So as I say, as long as I get that ball position forward, and I'm going to try and hit more up on it, so it's feeling that from that sort of low position here to more up and obviously over the top of that box. That's my feel. Yeah, there's a nice strike. Missed my box, so I've got instant feedback there that my attack was more on the way up, and that was a really nice shot there. Okay, so clearly we can see there the attack angle at 3.7 on the way up there, and a little bit path from the inside. That helped me to create my little draw shape I've just hit. Okay, and the other added benefit there of hitting a little bit more on that way up, slightly from that inside, is it helps to reduce that spin number. So you see the backspin number at 1715. That is one of the reasons why that ball can start to get out of these sort of distances there at over that 300 mark there. Okay, so the next little tip here is to try and help with that swing path. So as we saw maybe that driver there, I got my path from the inside there, but again, many golfers who struggle to hit the draw shape will struggle to get that swing path from that inside. So tend to see again from that high to low sort of movement coming through the ball, that over the top, that out to in swing path, that is very difficult to hit draws with that particular swing path. So this little drill here, we're going to use a head cover. Okay, so we're going to position this on the outside of your golf ball. So we're going to position it on the ground. The reason why we use a sort of head cover is because it's obviously soft there. It's not going to do any damage if we do hit it. So position it on the outside of your golf ball there. So we've just got enough room for the club to obviously come through, strike the golf ball, but anything coming from that outside position is obviously going to strike that head cover. Again, you're going to get some instant feedback. So this is a superb drill to do on the range here to try and help you with that swing path. So really the idea here is as we go back and we come down, we're just going to try and keep this club back a little bit longer. So we're not going to throw it over that way. We're going to keep it back on this inside, because that's what you're going to have to do to miss this head cover, and then obviously strike through, and this is going to help your swing path be a little bit more neutral, or if anything a little bit from that inside. So we're going to give this one a hit. Okay, and there's a nice little soft draw I've just hit there. Not hit the head cover, so I've got some instant feedback. I know that swing path was much more neutral, if anything slightly from that inside. Okay, so there again we see that swing path there, in to out by 3.3 degrees. And obviously hitting a 7-iron there, my attack angle is naturally going to be a little bit more down. So very different to the driver there, because the ball position, obviously the length of club and everything like that, but more important that swing path, missing that head cover, created me an in to out path by 3.3 degrees. Okay, so we've now got our swing path sorted. Our final little tip here, we've obviously got to get a control of that club face and get that pointing in the right direction. So wrist angles play a massive part of the swing in terms of controlling that club face. So this last little drill here will really help you to get a feel of these wrist angles. So if you are wearing a glove, obviously you need to wear a glove for this drill because we've got a plastic ruler. Okay, and we're just going to slide that down the back of your hand like that, so it goes up the sort of forearm there, and that's going to help us get a control of these wrist angles. Okay, so if I start to cup my wrist, you can see that starts to bend that ruler. Okay, and puts a lot of pressure in my hand and obviously on my forearm here, so I can feel that straight away. So what many golfers do, I'll just take that ruler out for 2 seconds. So what many golfers do when they get to the top of that backswing is they get that sort of cupping of that left wrist. So as I do that, as I'm stood this way to you and feel like I'm cupping that left wrist, you'll probably see what happens to the club head and the club face. It opens massively at that part of the swing. So you see the club head now starts to point more in a downward position. Okay, so that club face is now open, and as we come down, keeping that cupping position, face stays open, and we know it's very, very difficult to get the draw shape with an open club face. If we've got the path going right, but the face is even further right, we're just going to get real big pushes to the right of target. So with our little ruler, I'm just going to slide that down the back of your glove, into your glove, and the back of your hand. Okay, we're going to get into that setup position here. And then as we swing this up to the top of the swing like that, we can see this ruler now is starting to create a little bit more of a flatter position as you flatten that wrist out. So if I was to get there and start cupping it, it's pushing into my watch here, it's pushing into my forearm, and it's really pushing into my hand, and I'm just cupping that a tiny bit there. So if you can feel that control there, what happens to the club face, you can see it's in a different angle at this stage, and more of a square position. Okay, so again, if I just do that from here, work that to the top, trying to keep that lead wrist a little bit flatter at that stage. That controls my club face, and I'm going to try and keep that angle then as we come back down, which controls the club face. Again, if I take that ruler out and cup it, can you see what happens to that club face at that stage? It really opens up, and obviously with the ruler there, I physically can't do that. So it's a great way of getting some feelings there. Just slide that back in there again. So just do this one more time for you. Up to the top, feel that in that wrist position there, feel that on the way down and into impact. Okay, now I wouldn't advise you hitting a shot with a ruler in there, because obviously at the end of the swing that wrist is going to sort of go the other way, so that's going to probably snap the ruler or snap your wrist, which you obviously don't want to do. So once you've done that a few times, you want to try and get that same feel, maybe a couple of swings before you hit it. So up to the top there, you can feel that wrist position. Okay, back down, and then we'll hit this shot. Ah, beautiful. There's a lovely little soft draw again. Okay, so wrist positions play a huge part of controlling your club face position as you're working with those other drills. Obviously with the drive of the ball, box going, hitting more up on it, with an iron there, and also with drive as well, using the head cover to try and work that swing path a little bit into out, but then that wrist position to try and match that club face up to the target line a little bit more, and there you're going to be hitting those beautiful little soft draws. Okay, so look at those numbers. That particular shot there is my swing path 4.9 from the inside, so definitely working that from the inside. I'll be missing my head cover doing that, and then control on my club face. So face angle to target was 1.4 open. Okay, but obviously with my path working more to the right than my club face, the face angle to path relationship there is 3.5 degrees closed, which is closed we know is going to create that draw shape. So the ball starts just fractionally right of target because of my 1.4 open face, but then it's going to draw back because of my 3.5 closed face in relation to my path of 4.9 from the inside. Right guys, so there we go. There's some Right guys, so there's 3 simple tips there to try and help you hit that draw shape, very desirable sort of draw shape. So if you would definitely fade or slice with that golf ball, struggling to maybe control that, definitely give these tips a work, and you don't have to spend a lot of money on train aids here. You've got simple ball box, head cover that we'll all have, and a plastic ruler. That's all we sort of need, and that, as you can see there, creates some right movements to try and hit that right to left sort of ball flight that we all sort of maybe want to try and get. Okay, thanks so much for watching. If you've had some success with that, try that, give it a go. Let me know if you've had any success with that. Fire some comments in the section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and maybe some other tips that you use to maybe possibly hit that draw shape. You know, let me know what works for you. It's always interesting. There's loads of different ways to try and do this out there, so it'd be good to hear what you guys sort of do to maybe hit that draw shot. draw shape. So thanks so much for watching. Always appreciate watching the videos. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.